evidence that
talking about hysterectomies.
Well, I mean,
just in general.
He also has evidence that they may be lying about the amount of threats that they have, because he posted a tweet.
He sure did.
He posted a tweet that I just pulled up here, and it says that he has a source within Boston Children's Hospital where he got all this stuff from, and he said that that most of the people there don't even know what is happening. Like he said,
that's of course.
And so like
and also that there have not been ramped up security efforts at the hospital at all. That this,
so we got to slow down. We got to slow down
Yeah.
to explain what happened. So this is a video comes up showing Boston's Children's Hospital it's a promotional video explaining hysterectomies and bilateral oophorectomy or oophorectomies.
They actually had several videos up on their site with very they're gone now with well-spoken doctors talking about how important and interesting these surgeries are, smiling, cute music in the background.
Gender affirming
is what they call it. Yeah, lady doctors. One doctor was talking about the process of a hysterectomy and saying that it's the same for young adults and for gender affirming treatment as it would be for anybody else, and talks about the full and complete removal of a woman's reproductive system.
No, the bilateral oophorectomy is differentiated.
Well, she talks about the whole
it's
thing.
Called?
She says that, she says that they remove the uterus, the fallopian tubes, and they could also remove the ovaries and the cervix. So that's everything. That's taking it all out at once. You have another doctor talking about how one way that you can tell your pre-verbal child is trans is if they play with toys that are stereotypically considered to be toys of the opposite sex.
Pre-verbal.
How do they know that? Like, how does the child know that society has deemed this particular toy of a human to be a male or female toy? Like a girl playing with a doll versus a boy playing with an action figure? They're just playing with people.
They also, that same doctor discusses in this very short little clip, a couple of minutes long, about how if your child doesn't want to get a haircut, maybe they are trans. If your child doesn't want to sit to pee or does want to sit to pee, then perhaps your pre-verbal child is trans. Any mom will tell you, I mean, my son still hates getting a haircut.
Yeah.
You know, he's for sure a boy. Like you guys have all met him. Like he's clearly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, so that's insane. You also have a doctor talking about phalloplasties and how a phalloplasty is done. And that same doctor, and that's one that Chris posted today, that same doctor, because actually we were all talking about this behind the scenes, and we saw them start to take this stuff down, and we were all, me and Christina Buttons, who writes for the Post Millennial, we were all like, record it, screen record.
What's happening now is you had Boston's Children's Hospital talking about the gender affirming programs they do. The media comes out all of a sudden saying it's not true, they're lies. You have to be at least 18. But they ignore the finer details. And so what ends up happening now is you have all of these outlets trying to claim they don't actually provide gender affirming surgeries. Interestingly, there's one particular trans person who quoted Vice. Vice ran the story saying the far right's targeting the hospital, saying that the hospital says you have to be at least 18. And this trans person says that's not true.
Yes.
Came out and said no. It is common to give 16-year-olds gender affirming surgery, and then they mentioned that they got it and that they need to normalize it or whatever because that's how you get.
I mean,
treatment.
I can break this down for you a little bit too. I was working on this story last week with Christina Buttons, who wrote it and did an amazing deep dive into that for Post Millennial. And if you look at their documentation prior to when they changed it on the site, their forms for how to go about getting approved for vaginoplasties, chest reconstruction, and what's the other one? Phalloplasties, right? They have it all written down. So it says on their forms, to get a phalloplasty, you need to be between 18 and 35. To get a vaginoplasty, you need to be between, and you could look at it. It's in our story. We have the screenshots. It's to get a vaginoplasty, you need to be 17, between 17 and 35.
That would be the removal of male sexual reproductive organs.
Right, and the reshaping of it into something that appears like that of the opposite
sex. So a 17-year-old being totally sterilized.
Yes, and it also says that 15-year-olds, you have to be 15 in order to get a chest reconstruction or a double mastectomy of healthy breasts. And what's particularly interesting is that they changed the language afterwards. The videos say exactly what they do. They also follow these guidelines from WPATH, WPATH, that say, and they say that they follow these guidelines, as do most gendery, clinicky places. They follow these guidelines that also say that parents, if parents approve these procedures, they can be done at younger ages. The doctor who talks about the phalloplasty or the vaginoplasty says that in some cases it can be done younger as well. So yeah, they're making this up.
So I have